objection, man.
Mr. Hensley.
I drive a BMW. Anybody with an autopilot vehicle, you know for a fact it won't do that. Malik Bey.
All right. So, Mr. Hensley, we've been through this before. I'm going to call you by the name that's found on the information here.
You have my nationality information. You have my.
So, Mr. Hensley, are you representing yourself today?
Proper persona sui juris.
All right. Are you representing yourself today, sir?
Propria persona sui juris.
All right. So, Mr. Hensley, I'm not certain what you mean by that phrase. All I'd like to know is that whether you're representing yourself today or not. We've had this conversation many times previously. It's up to you, sir. All right. So, Mr. Hensley, you don't have a response for the court?
Well, you don't know what proper persona sui juris is? That means somebody presenting themselves.
All right. So is that what you want to do, is represent yourself today?
I'm presenting myself, Islam, yes.
Okay. And then, as we've talked about several times, do you understand that representing yourself can put you at a disadvantage to other folks like the people who have attorneys that are representing them? Do you understand that?
No, I do not.
Okay. What don't you understand about that?
None of it.
You don't understand any of it?
I don't understand it has a disadvantage.
You don't understand what?
Did you say the disadvantage?
Yes.
How's the disadvantage? In what term? In what manner?
So the disadvantage would be that they're familiar with the rules of court, that they're trained lawyers and the rules of evidence and things of that nature. Things that we've discussed many, many times.
So are we talking about law or are we talking about codes?
We're talking about statutes. We're talking about court rules. We're talking about case authority. Do you understand that you could be at a disadvantage?
I understand law. Are we discussing law? Or
I'm not going to play this game. Hey, Deputy, I want you to run over here in person. We'll put this all on the record. We're going to put this on the record in person. We're going to get Mr. Hensley sentenced today, and we'll make a complete record, as complete as we can, but I want to do that in person because we can do this all morning via Zoom, and it's just not very conducive to that. So if he can be brought over, and then we'll continue with our doctor until we see him here. What do we have next that we can do?
Yes, sure, we call the case People v. Lowell Schwartz, case number 24S. Case number 23S18766FH, People v. Milton Hensley Bay Jr. Defendant is present. He is in person. He is in co-heard. Today's the defendant for sentencing. And in front of him at the podium, I've provided 2 copies of his right to appellate review.
All right. So, Mr. Hensley, we are back this morning for Circuit Court sentencing. He's appearing in person. We did try to start this earlier with him remote at the jail. It just made more sense for the court to have him present where we're not trying to talk through Zoom. So, Mr. Hensley, here we are again today, sir. First, I want to start with this. When I arraigned you a couple weeks ago, you were given the opportunity to request court-appointed counsel, and you were also given the opportunity for the last several months to retain your own counsel. Are you representing yourself today, sir?
For objection, for the record, make the record reflect. My appellation is Malik, title is Bey. Works American National, I'm the Islam.
Anything else?
Proper persona sui juris.
All right. So, sir, the information that I have in front of me has your listed name as Milton Joseph Hensley Jr. So we've been through this before. Respectfully, I'm going to call you by the name that is listed in the information, Mr. Hensley. So, Mr. Hensley, do you wish to proceed by representing yourself today, sir?
Over my Fifth Amendment right.
All right. You don't wish to answer any questions from the court?
Over my Fifth Amendment right.
All right. So you're not going to answer the court when I'm asking, do you wish to proceed representing yourself today for Circuit Court sentencing? You wish to do that, Mr. Hensley?
Objection. My appellation is Malik. The title is Bey.
All right. So then let's get this on the record. As far as the PSI, Miss Bond, it would appear that the court has a copy of this. Mr. Butler apparently has it. And then what do you know about Mr. Hensley receiving this copy? So Mr. Hensley, have you had a chance to review the pre-sentence report, sir?
Objection. My appellation is Malik. Title is B. And for the record, you have my nationality information within your files. So you know my appellation.
All right. So when was our PSI completed, Ms. Bond? Looks like 2/29 of 04.
Yes.
Cut it, reviewed it. And so after the review, that would have went out to all the parties sometime in March. So I also want the record to reflect, I've seen Mr. Hensley several times as it relates to sentencing. He had been appearing for all of his court appearances. He had been cooperating with the court as it relates to expressing his desire to represent himself in these proceedings. He's never wavered from that, which is why the court is inquiring again today. I recognize that sentencing is an important part of the circuit court process. It's certainly a hearing, if you will, that would require and entitle, I should say, the defendant to the assistance of an attorney, which is why I'm asking. However, the court is balancing that with the idea that this circuit court sentencing date has been delayed several times, and the court can't help but glean at this point it just appears to be a delay tactic. The court, we sit that back through the dates, has given Mr. Hensley several times to hire counsel. He expressed that interest. Again, it appears in hindsight that it's simply a delay tactic. The court has given Mr. Hensley several times, actually not even with the sentence that the court's required to give here in a moment, keeping him out on bond to do those things, explore counsel. Even after being arrested on the warrant when he failed to appear, the court also gave him the opportunity again to request court-appointed counsel. In fact, the public defender's office appeared at his arraignment. Mr. Hensley Bays had the ability to fill out the affidavit and request counsel. Here this morning, in response to the court's questioning, he does not appear interested in answering the court's questioning. Again, it appears to be a delay tactic. I am comfortable that the pre-sentence report has been provided months ago to Mr. Hensley. I am comfortable Mr. Hensley has been given ample opportunity either to retain counsel, to ask for court-appointed counsel, and therefore the court's going to proceed with sentencing today. I can't continue to allow this delay of the matter in what appears to simply be at this point, series of incidents and responses, or lack thereof of responses, simply to delay the matter. I know Mr. Hensley's been engaged with this. We have several filings that are not court filings that he has continued to send to the clerk's office, some of which he has referenced, none of which have anything to do with the case and or the court's requirement to get him sentenced now that he has been convicted several months ago of these crimes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with then Mr. Butler. As it relates to the PSI, are you aware of any corrections, additions, or deletions that need to be made with it other than what we've already placed on the record with probation?
I would just ask the court to take a look at offense variable 4 regarding psychological injury to the victim. We did receive a victim impact statement. It looks like it came from Robert Siegel, who was the male occupant of the vehicle. In this case, the victim. We received that just this morning, about 2 hours ago. By email. So I can read that. I do believe it references facts to validate scoring for week 4.
All right. So why don't you read that? Okay.
This is from Rob Siegel, that's S-I-E-G-E-L. He says, I do have things to say to the judge and the proceedings that I would like to be read during the sentencing below. Your Honor, I apologize for not being here in person today, but I could not find the time again to keep seeing this through. The amount of stress and anxiety Mr. Hensley has caused my family is downright disgusting and infuriating. Pull a gun on a family driving down the highway for nothing more than getting out of his way not getting out of his way fast enough is obscene. My daughter, who was only 9 years old at the time with special needs, was terrified, and it took months for her to feel comfortable riding in any vehicle again because she was scared someone was going to cut her life short for seemingly no reason at all. My wife had to start and is still in therapy over this whole situation, which has thankfully helped her anxiety levels to become manageable, but also is not covered under our insurance. So it's cost us quite a large sum of money, and that brings with it its own stresses to our family and social life. I find myself driving and cannot seem to relax because anyone I see speeding up behind us reminds me of the terrible people in the world and just how ignorant someone can be with disregard for others' lives, including those of its own family and child in the car. Being that there are previous charges against Mr. Hensley for almost the exact same situation where he brandishes a gun and threatens to kill people because of his unchecked aggression and inability to safely operate a vehicle, which then turns to road rage, I plead that the court recognize this man is a danger to society whose blatant disregard for human life will eventually cost someone to lose theirs, if not his own. Because of all the pain, sufferings, financial burdens, and overall creation of trauma and issues in the many lives he's affected, I petition that the court give Mr. Hensley the maximum sentence possible for his crimes, so that my family and others he's affected may know some semblance of peace. To Mr. Hensley, despite everything you've done to my family over this very long process and the disdain I have for you as a human being, I hope that your time behind bars will allow you to see life differently and that you can truly find the error of your ways to become better for yourself and your family. So with that statement, I think we have two individuals that are reported by Mr. Stagel to have suffered emotionally from this, his 9-year-old daughter and his wife, both of them were in the car at the time. I think that would validate more than 10 points.
I object to that.
Hold on. So, Mr. Hensley, what is your objection?
Tell him prove everything he's saying.